I'm your host, Destiny Sidwell.
I'm also your host, Sarah Crowley.
And this is Bookmark'd.
Before our dotes, thank you guys for shopping the merch. That was so insane. Thank you for all the love on it and all the support. Let us know what you got. We are talking with Jacqueline about the pre-orders, and we'll be talking about new Kindle sizes and all of that, so we'll let you know when we know. But thank you. We just wanted to...
I'm right there with you guys. With the Kindle girlies, I know, I feel the pain. Because right now, one of my older Kindles is wearing our Kindle case. Yeah, so I'm reading on my older Kindle and not the newer one. So we're getting them in. We're trying our hardest, and we're talking about all of the, stuff that comes after for you guys. And we just appreciate that any of you guys would take time out of your day that you guys take to listen to us talk about literally whatever spews out of our mouth for an hour, but also to go the extra mile and support in ways not even like this, but just following on Instagram and being so in the community and loving the episodes and talking to us and then doing this.
You guys are so amazing.
I don't know because I'm you guys are just great. Thank you so much.
You're amazing. Thank you so much. So into our dotes, what do you have for us today?
Okay. I have a Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar Cream Soda.
Oh, I've never seen this before. I like the little can.
My family put me on this. They were like, hey, here you go. And I don't love canned soda. I usually only have a fountain soda. I don't love bottled or canned soda. But this is the only canned soda that I can do.
Okay.
So, also, I don't know how much caffeine are in these, but the only caffeine that I've been getting these days are there's 41 milligrams of caffeine. So compared to an Alani, and I never drink the whole entire can, this is the only source of caffeine that I get nowadays is if I have a soda to unwind for the day.
That's fair. You need a little drink. It's not water, flavored water. Did you only have one? Is it just the soda?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to get us this Dr. Pepper.
No, I love this. I have a protein drink, shake.
I love those.
These are, so it's literally just chocolate milk, and I love chocolate milk. It's so good.
I go through phases of literally for breakfast just having one of those and toast. Whenever I'm just
I drink these, when I go to my Pilates class, I need something before, so if I don't have a yogurt or anything, I'll just have some of this and then finish it after, because I need a little something, and it literally tastes like chocolate milk. I hate protein drinks because they have the weirdest aftertaste, chalky, gross, but this one,
I get what you mean,
genuinely tastes like chocolate milk. It's the Fairlife. If you're not watching, you don't see. It's Fairlife Core Power. Yeah, 26 grams. They have another one that's 30 42 grams. A higher one. I tasted that one, but this one's the best in my opinion. Tastes just like chocolate milk.
Yeah, I preferred that one. Also because I feel like if you overload on protein, sometimes that really hurts my stomach. And a drink like that where it's just so much protein, but that's a good amount. So it's so good. I literally buy them in bulk, and I just drink them every day. I love them.
I bought the pack, so that's what I got today. Before we get into our Fear the Flames, should we announce our February book? We did post asking for some recs. We do have a romance in honor of February Valentine's Day, and this one I was looking it up, and I think it's going to be part of an interconnected series. It's the first in one of them. It comes out in the middle of February, not middle, a little bit in the beginning, February 11th. It comes out. It's called First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. I know she has other books. Have you ever read a book by her? Oh, no, I have. Sorry. I feel like I just talked a lot.
Isn't it? It's a podcast, and it's your podcast, so
but
you were
allowed
to talk as much
out and just started talking.
And it was not as much as you're thinking.
I just came back to, and I was like, wow. I've read Love Light Farms by this author, which is a popular one. I feel like I didn't realize it was by her until this second.
I did not until you literally just said that. Everybody can watch it play on my face, getting that information in real time. It was crazy. I'm just kidding, but. Yeah, I read Love Light Farms, and then isn't it also business casual?
I'm looking right now. Yeah, so that's part of the Love Light Farms Interconnected. There's Love Light Farms, In the Weeds, Mixed Signals, Business Casual. And that's like a popular series that I see a lot of people read. I never continued
love
after
this
Love Light
cover.
I don't even know what song that was.
Mine. I made it up.
Oh, you made that up?
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. But First Time Caller will be our February book. This one, people say, I actually have not read the full summary, so I can read it for you guys if you're interested. But
yeah, I've never even heard of
what happened. Let me do this first, and then I'll tell you what people are saying it's like. So, here we go. Aiden Valentine has a secret. He's fallen out of love with love, and as the host of Baltimore's Romance Hotline, that's a bit of a problem. But when a young girl calls in to the station asking for dating advice for her mom, me, the interview goes viral, thrusting Aiden and Heartstrings into the limelight. Lucy Stone thought she was doing just fine. She has a good job, an incredible family, and a smart, slightly devious kid. But when all of Baltimore is suddenly scrutinizing her love life or lack thereof, she begins to question if she's as happy as she thought. Maybe a little more romance wouldn't be such a bad thing. Everyone wants Lucy to find her happy ending, even the handsome, temperamental man calling the shots. But when sparks start to fly behind the scenes, Lucy must make the final call between the radio-sponsored Happily Ever After or the man in the headphones next to her. Single parent. Clocked that. But people are saying it's similar to Sleepless in Seattle. I don't even know what that is. So do you know what this is? I'm going to Google it. Sorry, guys.
I understand why we would compare it to Sleepless in Seattle because of the whole entire, like, hotline call thing. But Sleepless in Seattle, they don't even interact for literally the whole entire movie.
Okay. So Sleepless in Seattle is about another radio person? Is it's like kind of...
Well, okay, I've watched it a few times, but it's basically about this kid calls into the radio station because his dad is like single, and I think the mom is dead. And so he's talking about like how his dad is like lonely or whatever. So then like a bunch of women are like sending like mail and stuff trying to like get with him. And then Meg Ryan's character like hears this and she has like her own fiance and everything, but like this just won't leave her brain. Like this guy in nowhere. And it's so stupid. Honestly, it's my least favorite rom-com.
Oh, you don't love it? Okay.
No, I hate that.
Well, that's fine because it's not like completely similar. It says it's inspired by it, so it's just about... Well, yeah, we have the same like radio host thing, but
did you ever read X Talk by Rachel Lynn Solomon?
I wanted to years ago when a lot of people were reading it, but I never picked it up. I don't know why.
I read it when I was in high school, just core memory, and that's what this reminds me of because like the radio, like they're both working at the radio station and kind of like this behind the scenes orchestrated by the station type of thing. Like that's what it's reminding me of. Yeah. So if you guys
the
like this,
really
you'll
cute
like it.
Though.
I love the cover.
It is.
That's what I made the song about. I love this cover. That's what I made the song about.
Which book you were talking about? Because I feel like we were on.
I was talking about this.
Farm.
I was not talking about Fear the Flames.
What? Video game?
I was not talking about Fear the Flames. See, listen, you guys, I have mucus buildup in my throat and nose, and it's making what I say sound so blah.
Well, if we like this one, like I said, I think it's going to be interconnected. There's not like a summary or anything, but there is a second book. It's the Heartstrings series, it's called. So we shall see.
Cute.
Cute. I think it's perfect for Valentine's Day. So
it is. And his last name's Valentine.
What?
His last name's Valentine.
Yeah. You're so right. And it comes out 3 days before, so perfect timing. That is our book for February. And if you're wondering, what? Why'd you I'm
getting flashbacks of like being so annoying in class, like feeling bad, like nobody else was like talking when the teacher was like being enthusiastic about something, so I would just like talk out to make the teacher feel better and like agree with her and just like say random stuff. And it's really
that's like me in my Pilates class when the instructor's talking, no one responds, and I just like giggle at her. I'm like
no.
I have to.
I can never. I would never be in a class setting because I would cry. You know, like how they go up and they're like, "Here, do this." Like, you know, like when you're doing Pilates. I would get off of the machine and just pack up my stuff and leave. Like
they do correct me. The one instructor that I take a lot, I love her. And the other day she like fixed my arms or something, and she was like, "You've done this enough times." Like whatever. And I was like, "You're right. I shouldn't be messing up."
See, But you take it with stride. I would take it with cry. Like, I would be like, I can't do anything right. Like, I would literally start having a breakdown.
It's not, yeah, I understand that. I feel like after more than once, I'm like, it's fine. Let me hurt myself. But, are you confused?
I'm looking at the jelly cat in the back, and it just seems so big.
It does look kind of big on camera. This is the one you got me.
I know, but I'm saying it looks so big. It literally looks like a Build-A-Bear.
It kind of looked like, you've ever watched Daddy, I Shrunk the Kids or Daddy, I...
Yeah.
Whatever the other one was. Yeah, it's kind of like that size for the Shrunken Kids. I loved those movies when I was growing up.
It looks so...
She can hang with us.
Yeah, it looks so... I don't have... Oh
my god, if you guys hear Sachi, I swear no one is torturing her. That's just her on the daily. Aw, cute. You have the lime. Look, they match. They're so cute. Yours looks even bigger than mine.
It is a big jelly cat.
Yeah, that's a big one. Just kind of matches Fear the Flames, though, because the book is green and our jelly cats are green.
Yeah.
Well, if you're wondering why we picked Fear the Flames, I feel like that was... Someone asked us, like, why Fear the Flames? I think, I really don't vividly remember, but I know we were trying to go through our physical TBR and pick books that we both, one, had, and two, we could talk about, like, enough. So we thought a fantasy would be good, because, like, more things I feel like happen. And we had a list of books to, like, whatever, and we just, Fear the Flames was just the one we chose. It wasn't anything too strategic, but that is why we picked Fear the Flames. So, to get into that, maybe we should say our rating.
I did not finish it.
I told you. I honestly said I wouldn't even be upset for you not to.
I couldn't get into it. I have a note on my Kindle. Oh, you have to be on your Kindle to look at notes on your Kindle. It's so annoying.
No, go on your Goodreads.
It doesn't show up because I didn't finish the book.
Oh, really? Mine usually shows up.
Well,
I told Destiny she doesn't have to finish it because I have enough to say for the both of us.
But
the two
here's
of us.
The thing. Here's what I'll say. I have a pet peeve.
Okay. Let it out.
When I feel like you can definitely take inspiration. Like, I understand there are huge fantasy series, and, like, you can definitely take, like, inspo. But, like, we start the book off with, like, the first line is, like, there once was a girl or a princess who's, like, whatever. And I literally highlighted it, and I was like, they're on a glass. And as I went on, I was like, this feels a lot like we're doing this is like giving... I took a lot of what happened in that book and put it in this book, and I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I could not care either.
I don't even blame you. Like, I'm not even going to sit here and say, like, you missed, it got better. Like, I gave it a 2-star, and people probably already know that because I talked about it in a video, and I put a whole Goodreads review out about it. I gave it 2 stars. And I read it in a video where I was trying to find a 5-star, and I was in the mood for, like, a good romantasy, and I thought this was going to be a good choice, and it just... I will say, though, it had, like, the only, like, factor about it that I enjoyed, like, I finished the book, obviously, is because it was entertaining for some reason. Like, nothing made sense, but, like, I was entertained. I don't really know. But we can, I don't even know where to start. I have a lot of Kindle highlights, though, so starting with, I think it had a good premise. I really do. I think...
No, I was literally going to say that.
Like, it was about... She was royalty, bonded to dragons. That's fun. I want a dragon epic heist. That sounds so much fun. And she is taken away from them, and she's held captive, and she escapes captivity. She's in hiding, and then she allies with the commander. Like, there's so much, like, good from the summary and the premise of the book. It could have been so good. I love a heist. There's nothing like a heist. A high-stake one. Nothing about this book was high stakes. They're out drinking at a bar when they should be figuring out their plan. I said in my video, put me in the book. I can do better than them. I was getting so annoyed. Anyway, let me pick up my notes. What did you think you were going to give it, like, if you finished it? Like, would this have been a 1-star?
It would have probably been a 1 to a 2. Just because I remember... So, I was excited because... Also, I do want to let... I feel so bad. This is what I was saying when I started And then I was like, wait, no, let's start recording. I feel bad that I did not finish the book. However, I told you guys, I've been in a month-long slump period, and I was like reading it, and I was like, I can't afford to like force myself to finish this right now. Like, this is just going to get worse.
Yeah.
But it was just like, I don't like, but like you said, like from the start, I thought it was interesting of like the dragons. It kind of reminded me of like Game of Thrones or like a House of the Dragon, like with her being bonded to these dragons and them all being like hers. But when we start just like losing the plot, I'm like, I can't do it. I can't.
Yeah. So if you guys didn't know, which I feel like it's pretty like popular knowledge that it was independently published, and the indie version is like really long. I don't know exactly. It's like 600, 700 pages. I was literally about
to say that. I have the indie copy.
I forgot I came prepared. So I have it too. Let me see how long this is. Okay, it's almost 600 pages. It's a thick book. Like, it's a thick fantasy. And now that it's traditionally published on the Kindle, it's like 300 something pages, which is really short for a fantasy book.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It was going really fast. And I was like, why is it so fast? It's because it's a short book. But the people who have read this one, and I feel like have also read both, maybe just to see the differences. I've heard the indie version is better because they cut out so much, and the parts that they took out like don't really help the story in like the shorter version, the traditionally published one. And I think I didn't read this one, like the indie one, but I think the things that they took out was probably important, like the world building. None. We were thrown right in, and they wanted it to be more romantasy, which is fine. But if you're gonna lack plot and have romantasy, I think make it better. I don't know. I think it would have done so much better not taking so many scenes out of this one. I don't even know what scenes are in here, but they probably helped the story so much.
Well, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree, because I have this experience of, I have the indie copy, and then I was going to read it back in like the fall time, and then people were like, no, wait until it's traditionally published, because it's going to be like way different. Like I think she like said it was going to be way different. So I was like, okay. And then we said that this was our book club pick, so I went and got the new copy from Barnes, because I was like, oh. And I picked it up and I was like, this is so short. Like, I literally was like, this is so short. So that was another thing that when I picked it up, I was like, maybe this is a good change of pace, that it's a shorter fantasy, because like, you know, it's not going to be as daunting. And then I was just like, but like you said, if you're going to make it more romantasy, if something's going to be more focusing on the romance, you kind of have to sacrifice that the plot can't be as built up then. Like, if you're not going to focus on the world and the plot and just focus on the romance, like, it can't be, like, you can't try to make it this huge thing, because you're sacrificing things and it doesn't work.
Yeah. And I think where the story starts, like, the prologue and everything, like learning about her being bonded and her like getting taken away, like I liked that. I thought, again, good setup. But like right in like one of the first few chapters, like she bumps into the commander. I forgot his name already. Is it? I know he's the commander of Varaveth. Caden? I think it's Caden. Yeah. She like bumps into him so early on in the book, and like right in that scene, it's like a knife to the throat scene. She's like kicking him in the balls, and she's like I don't like cursing at him, and she's like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm cursing at the commander. I don't know, the things that were happening, I was like, okay, this is gonna be a tropey one. Like, there's gonna be parts in this book that are probably not gonna make sense for the plot, but to hook you in to want to read like a romantasy that has all these different like tropes in it. And I was like, okay, their banter's a little weird. They don't know each other. Why are they like going back and forth of each other? And then they meet up again, because they're like, he says like, whatever. They meet up again for the alliance to take down the king and get the dragons. And I have it literally highlighted with my note. 8% into the book. 8%. He says, what do you want with the Atara heir? And he says, or no, she says, what do you want with the heir? Which is her. She's the heir. She's supposed to be in hiding. He goes, done your research, Princess Elowen? And she goes, how do you know who I am? She didn't even hide it. She didn't even hide the fact for a second. She just gave up her and her whole, like, she has a whole kingdom too, by the way. Not sure how she hasn't been found. A whole kingdom. And she just gave away that she's the princess in 2 seconds. to someone that she apparently hates. I was gobsmacked. You've been in hiding for so many years. What are we doing?
See, but it's just little things like that it's just like that's like little things like that where I was like, this book's, I'm not finishing it. It's just not gonna be like, it's one of those where it's like, if I read any more of it, it's gonna get mean, and I don't want it to get mean, because I'm gonna just start noticing like that, like all those little things of the like, girl, I don't have any faith in you and semblance of a plan. The fact that this guy was like, are you the princess? And you're like, yeah, anyway.
That's what I mean. Like, I love a strong female fantasy character. Like, some of those are my favorites. Yeah. But, like, she was saying that, or, like, she was, like, trying to be one, but then she would, like, I don't know, the way she acted just didn't make any sense. And the other part where I said, like, no world building, and we're kind of thrown into it, which, again, it's fine if we're not going to focus on the world building and the politics of the fantasy world. But I don't know where they were, but it said, I highlighted this. I have so many highlights. It says that the priestess raises her voice in a powerful scream, like, all this stuff. And then we, like, move on from that. And I said, like, priestess who? What do you mean a priestess? We never talk about it again until the end. Who? What is happening? And who are they? That didn't make sense. And then 11%, he says, if any of you touch her, you die. And I promise to make it painful. Bruh, you just met. Bruh. You just met.
But I think this contributes to the conversation. I think this right here in our feelings contribute to how we talked about, like, in modern day publishing and books, of like these tropes and these key word phrases that authors have seen be successful in other books, that they're like, gotta use that. And I'm like, no, you don't.
At least not so early on, where I feel like a lot of the tropes that happened in this book were so early on to, like, maybe, like, hook a reader that likes those tropes, but, like, they would have worked further into the book. Like, you could have had a knife to the throat, or you could have had a touch or you die when they know each other. And
it loses all, what do you want to say? Like, wow factor or meaning. Because I think I've used this example before, but, like, in Throne of Glass, like, a who did this to you scene was, like, in the, like, third or fourth book.
Yeah, and it just makes sense where it is. Like, this... Yeah. And this book, again, it's just so short. Like, she's trying to, like, pack in maybe, like, those parts of, like, the longer book that had those tropes. So maybe just it feels like there's so many because she took out, like, the parts that would have made them spaced out. I will say, though, did you see her go back to his place and meet his friends yet?
How far in is that?
I don't know. He has 2 friends. I forget their names. I'll find it when I go through my highlights. And she also has a friend, Finian, which I feel like you probably have met. So they had, like, a little group. It was like a found family. They were, like, trying to do a found family. And I liked, like, that was one of the parts of the book that I liked.
Like a Six of Crows type of thing was trying to go down?
Yeah. Well, kind of. Because, like, it was only them 2 that was doing the heist. And, like, not all of them. But, like, I think she was trying to have, like, the side characters, like, you can really connect to them too. But that was one of the parts of the books that, like, goes into my 2-star. Like, I liked the friends. I don't think I really, like, connected with any of them, but, like, some of their moments, like, they were, like, funny. I think that was really fun. But I said 17% in, which we're talking spoilers. So at the end of the book, something happens to her friend Finian, and 17% in, I highlighted something and I said, something's gonna happen to Finian. Like, it's like that stake, like having such a close friend in a book, you know. Like, something's either going to happen to them or they're going to betray her. And it was one of the two. And I thought, someone's hurting Finian. I knew that was going to happen. That's, like, always something that happens in a fantasy book if you have, like, a close friend. Also, I made an update on Goodreads when this part happened. So she's going back to his kingdom, whatever that part of the book. And I think there's, like, a king of his kingdom. Like, again, world building makes no sense. But they're having a parade for her because she's the lost heir. And they found the lost heir. Who has a parade for someone that's supposed to, one, perform a heist? A big one. They're getting dragons. That's not an easy heist. Perform a heist, and is supposed to be in hiding. They're parading her around. Where is the logic in that? I was like...
Yeah.
What are we doing? That doesn't make any sense. That was insane. And then I was like, okay, so now her father probably knows that, 1, she's not dead. 2, she's probably going to come for the dragons. And I was thinking, too... she's been alive for, I don't remember how old she was, but how come, like, now she wants to get her dragons back? Like, how come she didn't try before? Like, I'm like, why is now the time?
These are, and like we said, we didn't read the indie copy, but it just makes me raise the question of, like, information that was left out and conversations that were left out that were more important than you probably once assumed.
Yeah, I feel like if I liked it more, I'd want to go back through the indie one. And when I first started reading, I was like, okay, I probably would want to, like, skim through the indie, see, like, what I missed or, like, what was taken out. But, like, I have no urge to. So if anyone has read both or has read the indie
let us
one,
know.
Maybe let us know what you're thinking.
I remember people telling me, and I saw on TikTok because this book started, like, getting some hype, and people were like, it just reminded me that I remember seeing a lot of people saying that they didn't really love this book. Like, I feel like I've seen more people say they don't like this book than I've seen people say that they like it.
Oh, I thought I've been seeing people really enjoying it. Maybe it was, like, when it first started getting hype, like the indie version of it. I thought people were, like, enjoying it, and that's why I got this book and I bought this book. But then I never read it.
No, but I'm talking about, like, a few months ago, like, around the fall time when it was, like, going to be traditionally published, and because more people were reading it, I was seeing a lot of people being like, yeah, no, don't love this one. And then as I was reading it, I was like,
it kind of checks out why. My whole thing with, like, the romantasy in this one was on her part made no sense to me. Like, I liked Caden. He was the other star in my 2-star. I thought, like, as it went on, like, he wasn't one of those, like, fantasy, like, male main characters that was, like, broody and, like, kind of mean. Like, he actually, like, was doing, like, really nice things for her, like, acts of service as a fantasy character, and I just didn't expect that. But, like, in the beginning, she wanted so bad to hate him, and I didn't understand why, because they're not, like, enemies of any sort, and he's, like, they're allies. Like, they're going on a heist together. Like, just, it made no sense. And she said, I think she said this, I'd love to get a closer look to reinforce my theory. What? Hold on. I don't know exactly what this quote means, but I said I'm so confused why she hates him and, like, tries to banter like that she hates him when they're, like, there's just no reason. There's no reason for them to be enemies or marketed as enemies. Like, they were never enemies. That was, like, one of the things where I could have enjoyed the romantasy, but, like, it didn't make any sense.
But this is what I mean, where, and I just don't want to say that, but it just feels like writing for tropes, like writing for an enemy, and you're just not thinking through. It's not cohesively flowing, so it makes it so noticeable as a reader that it just feels choppy and unnatural.
I do think if you don't read, if you've never read a romantasy or fantasy period, probably wouldn't enjoy this book, and I can see why. I just think after reading, like, a good amount, like, knowing what I like in the fantasy, a lot of it just made no sense. And like I said earlier, when they went to, like, a tavern, like a bar, the whole group, they need to sign a treaty, they need to make a plan. I was so hooked on the heist, I think, that I was so annoyed that they're, like, going out and, like, flirting with each other at a bar. Like, she's talking to someone else at a bar, and he comes over and is like, what are you doing? I was like, where are we? Where are we and what are we doing?
Yeah.
I was like, there's dragons at stake here. Am I the only one that's, like, focusing on this? So that was, like, not whatever. And then
she's been chillaxing for the past, like, 15 years. So she's like, I'm cool.
She's in no rush. There was also a few parts where someone or people were, like, coming in and, like, trying to kill her because I guess they found out the heir was alive or whatever. And what was so confusing is... How what?
I wonder how they found out the heir was alive. She was being so secretive.
Hey, maybe the parade. But I wrote down and I was like, how did no security see them come in? Like, you're at a highly secured palace. Like, he's saying, I'll kill you if you touch her. Like, what do you mean someone was easily able to come in and, like, try to almost kill you? That just made no sense to me either. I was like, there were just no explanations for things. And I would read it and I'd be like, okay. And then I'd read something else and be like, we just move on to the next scene. Like, nothing would ever be explained. It's just like, we're moving on. Now we're back home or whatever. And then randomly, it says, this is apparently where the god of water kept his prisoners before the gods left us. And I said, who the hell is the god of water? We never went back to it. We never went back. Who is the god of water?
Well, don't we talk about the gods very sparingly at the beginning? And then it's just...
Is it in the prologue?
Yes. And then you just, like, don't talk about them again.
Yeah, it was brought up in one sentence, and so the god of water.
But again,
he was like,
it feels like tropes because in fantasy, there's like a lot of the times they use that like gods, like different gods that they have in their fantasy books. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, Caden all of a sudden was able to do like magical things, and I'm like, I didn't even know he was. What? Since when does he have powers? That was insane. And they were like going in. I don't know if it was like the prison or something, but they were like looking at like how they can like get in there, and then they were gonna leave and like make a plan or whatever. So they were like in this like place where they could have gotten caught. And I think there was like not soldiers, but like people that were in that place that could have got them, like guards or something. And they're like hiding, and they just like I highlighted it. It's like a really weird moment. Like they're in hiding, and there's guards that like could kill them. And he says, I shakily inhale, his hand grips me harder, my heart beats faster. Like, not the time to be thinking about kissing each other. Maybe it's me. Maybe I was too picky and too critical on it. Now that I'm talking about it, I feel like I'm just being mean.
But then again, you're never like that. So for a book to make you like that, there's like reasoning behind it, because you're very rarely somebody that's like, yeah, I noticed.
Yeah, I feel like I can usually look past like.
It's usually me that's going, this was annoying, and you were like, I didn't really mind it. I didn't really pay attention. I didn't really care, and I'm like, well, I did. So
yeah, I don't know if I was nitpicky because I knew we were like going to talk about it, so I wanted to like keep in mind like things that were happening. But like, even if this wasn't a bookmark book and I was reading it, I think I would have DNF'd it. But then again, I did say like it was entertaining and fast paced. It was a short book. I like needed to know how they were getting the dragons and if they were going to. Period. So
yeah.
I don't really even know what happened after that. I think like halfway, the romance like really picked up, and I did enjoy it. Like I was like, okay, if we're gonna have a romance, at least I'll enjoy it. I'll like give it the benefit of the doubt. And I did really like Caden. I think the way he acted and stuff, like I just really liked him because he never saw her as an enemy. So I thought that was nice. And I'm trying to find some other quotes, but like, oh, this one says, this is 50% in. It sounds so weird like reading out fantasy quotes, but I won't stand for the sake of I'm giving myself the ick. I'll read this one. It says, I will always hunt down anyone who arms you, even if you're repulsed by me. I don't regret a single scream I stole from him. I savor them because like he protected her. I was like, okay, like he's kind of a goner for her, and I liked him. But
but it's hard when the dynamic is like he's and she's just like giving nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, he also like set up her room, and I'm pretty sure he gave her like romance books to read because obviously like she just likes reading books and stuff.
Yeah, just like somebody else in another series.
Now that you're saying that, yeah, it kind of is similar. They did have a cute little book quote though, because like I said, she's a reader, and it says, words have given me wings when I've needed an escape. Books breathe life into the mundane and have brightened the darkest of days for me with merely some pretty prose and hope. Some of my favorite nights were when my candlestick melted and dawn chased away the night while I was lost in a maze of words and wonder. And I was like, I see you. Yeah. That eats. Like I align with you there.
Yeah.
And then they just had like a bunch of like moments together. I feel like we're just focusing on the romance for a while, and this is where I was getting annoyed because I was like, we are days away from stealing not one, but there's like 4 or 5 dragons we're trying to take out of this place, and like that's not an easy task.
No.
So
we've done it, and it's hard.
Yeah, like been there, done that. Like you guys need to like start prepping for this. And I think his king told her to stay away from him. I'm like vaguely remembering if she was supposed to. I'm confusing books now. She's supposed to be married off or something. I think I might be thinking of a different book. I don't think it's this one. See, they're all getting confusing in my head because this is so similar to so many. But yeah. I think the king, someone told him to stay away from her, and he's like, you told me to stay away from her. Now this is me telling you to do the same, and there will be severe consequences if you don't heed my warning. And he goes, I'm your king. Like the king said that, and he goes, I don't give a fuck if you're a god. If I see you reach another hand toward her, I will happily cut it off. And I said, God damn. Like that was my note. God damn.
Okay.
I was like, I don't care if you're a god, period. But like, nothing ever comes from that. Like he just like, he'll just say that and then we'll move on to the next scene, which like, okay.
Because of course.
Like, doesn't even matter. let me see. What happens after that? I'm pretty sure they go, like, we're at, like, 70% of the thing now, and I'm like, okay, dragons. I think this would have been so good if we focused more on the heist, because I think dragons in fantasies, like, everyone loves dragons, and the dragons were in this for 5% of the book.
Dragons have made a comeback, can I just say? Because, like, Game of Thrones had dragons. House of Dragons is all about the dragons, right? Yeah. Not all about, but it's pretty big. Because, not, actually, almost spoiled, whatever. Anyway, but I feel like when we were getting into romantasy, dragons weren't really, or at least not what we were reading. Not saying dragons haven't been a thing for years, but I'm saying, like, popularized, like, very, very popularized, as in, like, the books that kind of get pushed around social media. Obviously, dragons have always been a mythical creature.
Yeah, they've been in so many books, but I'm going to be honest, I think Fourth Wing made a lot of people, like, want more fantasies with dragons. Because honestly, in Fourth Wing, like, they did a great job with, like, the dragon part of it. And
sorry,
people are, like, wanting more of that.
Isaac just saw me with this on my head, and he's so confused. I saw him out of the corner of my eye, and he's so confused.
If you guys are confused, Destiny's Jellycat is sitting on her head. I highlighted this part, and I don't know where they're at, but he said, again with the knives, Elle, you know I adore them, but now really isn't a good time. And he throws her over his shoulder and carries her away. And she goes, I could have killed you. What a lovely way to go, he says. And I think it's supposed to be a high-stakes situation, and my note was they have not taken one thing seriously. Not one thing. Every time there's a serious moment.
Imagine being on this, like, imagine me and you, just, like, put us in this situation, and we're, like, really in it, and then you just see them, like, flirting back and forth, like, I could have killed you, and he's like, what a great way to go. Maybe I was just like,
get home. Turn around and go home. Like, you are literally going to ruin this all. Go home.
Yeah, I would have just blank stared so much. I would have had just so much
Yeah, I would have been not the time. But then they go on, like, the actual heist. They're, like, going and they're, like, on the journey.
Thank God.
And it was, like, a sad little moment because they have to say bye to their friends, obviously, and their friends don't know if they're going to make it. And I should have seen this coming, but they're, like, close enough, and they see their friends coming. And I'm like, how did I not know the friends were going to join them on the heist? Or, like, at least for a part of it. I'm so mad I didn't predict that. But I was like, oh, I didn't expect them to join, but, like, I like them. Like, I'm happy they want to, like, help out their friends. And then again, 71%, we're, like, almost done with the book. It says, it's the longest river on the continent, stretching from whatever. Legend says that the goddess of souls lived in the fort. Who is the goddess? There's another one.
Stop dropping lore and then saying nothing. You're just like, goddess of souls.
Like, give me the lore. I want the tea, but I'm not getting any. And you want to know how the heist went? Is anyone wondering how the heist went? I mean,
they just easily get the dragons.
Hold on. Oh, right before, they obviously had to get past the guards, and one of them was like, you can't come through here, obviously. And she goes, he's sick. Like, he's riddled with fever. I'm not a soldier. I'm a healer. I followed my husband to the border to be close to him. Whatever. And the guard goes, you're covered with knives. And she goes, it's a precaution to ward off the thieves on the road. And she, like, kicks Caden's shin, and he leans to the side and, like, starts coughing, like, to pretend he's sick. And the guard says, the mask stays on for the rest of your journey. I wish you the best of luck. That was, like, so easy. What do you mean they got in? They got in! Just with that. I'm like, let me find some positives. Okay. I really liked, like I said, Caden. When I was, like, trying to enjoy the romance part of it, because the world building and the heist was getting me so annoyed. There are moments, I'm, like, forgetting them now because I didn't highlight them, that Caden said some really sweet stuff to her and, like, would do things for her and whatever. So, like, I did enjoy him as a character. We'll never think of him again, but in the moment, I liked him. And I liked the friends. One of them, I forgot his name. It's not coming up in my highlights. But Caden's friend, he was really funny. Okay. Ryder. His name was Ryder. This part I highlighted, 85% don't have the dragons yet. He goes, I love your hair. He says, it doesn't matter how you wear it. She goes, do you have a favorite style I've done? My note is, literally, where are the dragons?
Holy shit. Oh my god.
Do you like it braided or do you like it in wavy curls?
In a dungeon trying to find these dragons. And they're just like walking, and he's randomly like, I love your hair. And she's like, damn, like, you're in middle school. It's like a middle school conversation that you have in like gym class or something.
Do you like me with bows in my hair? Like, should I have worn bows to the heist? This part was cute. She said, all this time I thought nobody cared when I disappeared. Even the assassins were infrequent and stopped several years ago. She believed her existence was as insignificant as a single snowflake, never to be thought of once it melts. But throughout Caden's whole life, no matter what changed, I remained in his mind. So I said, that's sweet. And now that I'm reading this quote, he saw her, of course, when he was younger. He's seen her before and has thought about her his entire life. Because, obviously. So I think he's been looking for the heir. I forgot, like, the lore behind everything. But his enemy is also the king. So he's been looking for her for a while. And, like, yeah, that's predictable. But it was sweet. It was a sweet moment. I don't have a quote of when the dragons were taken. But this is how it went. From what I'm remembering. I think he, like, does something with the guard so she can get in. She's in the place with the dragons. She sees them. And they start, like, whipping her. Because I couldn't tell because they were mad at her or they didn't know it was her because it's been so long. So she's getting, like, beaten by the dragons. And then all of a sudden, I think one of the dragons, like, burns the whole place down. Something like that. And they fly out. Like, they get out. They get out so easily. And within 10 pages, they have the dragons. Heist is done.
Where it's like, okay, could you have done this whole time? Or is it because she was in the vicinity so that they were able to burn the place down?
Yeah, like, I couldn't tell you. And then after that, they're like, obviously they have to, like, run home. But, like, dragons are not talked about again until they're back. And, like, I was like, that is way too easy. Like,
so we spent this whole book
yeah,
having parades and just doing random stuff to then free the dragons within 10 pages. Yeah. Like, it was so easy.
Yeah, I picture them as the Dragon Tales ones cartoon. So, like, they were cute and everything. But I was so excited for, like, the heist and the dragons and the bond that they have. Like, I was just so excited for it. We didn't get it. But that's not everything, because obviously they have to go back with the dragons and everything. So she has this father figure. I think it's her uncle that, like, has been, like, with her the whole time. Aelard. I forgot his name. It's, like, Aelard or something. And when she came back, she was like, I'm just nervous about how Aelard will react to the dragons. He blames them for my mother's death, which was his sister. So I saw that and I was like, okay, I hope there's a plot twist. And I also feel like he's going to be a traitor because we need one of those. And that's exactly what happened. Like, she got back and she told him about it because she didn't tell him about the heist. And he started, like, spewing all this stuff. And at this point I was checked out because I was like, okay, I'm not going to read the next book. So I don't really care exactly how this ends. So I don't remember exactly, but, like, he was like, I don't really know, but he's, like, not working with the king. I think maybe he was working with the king. He basically, like, betrayed her, whatever. And then,
but she got the dragons.
What?
But she got the dragons.
Yeah, she got the dragons. But, like, he's like, we should bring them back to the king. Like, we should all, like, I don't really know exactly. But then something happens where Finian, like, her bestie, gets hurt. Obviously. So, like, she's running to go save him. Like, there's a lot of chaos just happening at the end.
Because, of course.
And I think in order... This is the part that got me so angry. Eye roll. Huge eye roll. In order for her to... There's something for her to do something. She has to be married. She has to marry... There's, like, some clause in here. I don't really know exactly. But, of course, he says, I will marry you, Elle. I didn't fall for you because of a clause. Please believe that. So I think the whole time, Caden knew that... I don't know what the marriage thing was. I was so checked out. If you guys know the marriage thing, please freshen us up. But I was just, like, eye-rolling because I was like, of course it's going to end in, like, her met Caden. They're going to get married. And the second book is going to be, like, another enemies to lovers, quote-unquote. Where are the dragons, by the way? Where are they?
Oh my god. The whole entire point of the book was the dragons, and then we ended off and they're just nowhere to be seen.
We had like 2% with the dragons, and I was so excited. I also think that Aelard, I don't know how to say Aelard. I think he dies.
What the hell? Okay.
And she gets a crown on her head, and she becomes a queen. I don't understand how these plots are connecting. I said biggest eye roll ever. And it says to contain the spell, salt for protect. Wait, maybe a priestess came back. You know how in the beginning there was the priestess? The very prologue? I think she came back because she had like the whole prophecy, the bond.
On the very end.
The 98% this highlight is. To contain the spell, it says she's throwing ingredients into like whatever. And says salt for protection, garlic to ward off magic, basil to dispel evil, water to balance you, whatever. And my note is, literally, I can make this. I can make this potion at home.
This just, I think we really struck out with our first one.
The last scene, though, is the dragons tumbling in the snow. So,
what the hell is going on? What is going on?
I'm exhausted going through all of that. Like, nothing makes sense. And I'm also trying to see it on the side of like people that really loved this book. Maybe it was just like a no-brainer fantasy, like very fast-paced, like palate cleanser fantasy, which I feel like you don't get very often. Like, it takes a lot of brain power, and this took no brain power because like nothing even made sense. But
no, it took some brain power.
It took some like brain power for me to be like, guys,
because you're like, what is going on?
Yeah, it had me like so confused. Nothing, the pacing, like nothing connected. And like, I think I just would have appreciated either stick to the heist or stick to the romance. And don't throw in things. It's like,
I'm never going to get over the literally trying to free these dragons and going, I love your hair. And she's like, do you have a favorite? Like,
do you have a favorite hairstyle?
Wear it? Like,
she likes twirling her hair.
Yeah. Well, how do you like when I wear it?
Is my bestie Sally from Throne of Glass would never.
If you guys loved this book, we would love to know, because, you know, like, tell us why. But like, there are people that hate Throne of Glass. There are people that do not like those books at all. So you just have to stand strong in what you love, even in the face of somebody who's telling you that you don't.
Yeah. But I'm happy if you do love the book, and that's why reading, we always say, is like, everyone has their own opinions. And it's wonderful that we can come out of this book. One's a 5-star, one's a 2. I think that's wonderful.
Listen, book club, we're going to have to say some hot takes sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay?
One day, Destiny might come with the book and say it's a 3-star, and I might say a 5-star, and then we're going to have a really fun discussion. Unfortunately, our first book just wasn't the best one to start off with, maybe. Do you like my hair like this, or do you like it like this?
Them literally
in a pony?
Walking in the... I really like your hair.
Me in 3rd grade.
No, that's what I mean. It's literally like a middle school conversation. Like, that actually has me like on the floor.
I was just like so shocked. Like, it took me out of middle of the heist, and I was so excited for the heist.
That would be different. The conversation would still be a little bit like, are you guys literally 15 years old? But if it was like a low stakes moment, like, you know, the bar or the parade or anything else that was happening in this book, okay. But like, we're in the middle of literally doing the one thing that we've been talking about this whole entire book, and then you're like,
I'm just upset we didn't get more dragons.
Let us know what you guys rated it.
Yeah, give your thoughts and your opinions, and we hope you're excited for the book for February. This will be fun. Mm-hmm. I think it'll be fun at the end of the year. We can do like a Bookmark'd book club wrap up.
And do a pyramid like Dance Moms.
Oh, that's fun. Like, what was our best? Like, we should do a bracket. I feel like I need to like go take a breather.
Yeah, that was real. That was real. So let us know down below again what you guys thought about the book. If you guys have read it, what you guys think of this month's book club's pick. And we hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Maybe had a few laughs along the way. Thank you so much for listening again, and all of the support on the merch. And we love you guys.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.